Policy gradient methods have a dirty secret. They are wildly noisy. To improve a policy, they need to know how good each action was. And if that signal jumps around from one run to the next, training becomes a slow, unstable mess. So how do we get a clean, reliable measure of how much better an action was than average? Lean too much on a quick estimate and you get bias. Lean on the full outcome and you get noise. Generalized advantage estimation is the elegant knob that lets you dial between the two, and it is quietly why algorithms like PPO train so smoothly. Let's break it down. So before we build it, here's the fundamental tension GAE is solving. Estimating the advantage forces an awkward choice. Use just one step, the immediate reward plus the next state's value, and your estimate barely moves, but it leans on a value function that's still wrong, so it carries real bias. Use the whole episode's actual return instead, and there's no bias at all, but a single long trajectory is so noisy the estimate swings all over the place. Low variance or low bias, and you feel forced to pick just one. Here is where GAE steps in. Instead of committing to either extreme, it blends every n-step estimate into one exponentially weighted average, and a single parameter, lambda between 0 and 1, slides smoothly along that spectrum. Push lambda toward 0 for the low variance, biased one-step view. Push it toward 1 for the low bias, noisy full return. In between, often around 0.95, sits a sweet spot with much of the best of both. So how does GAE actually compute that blended number? Follow the construction one step at a time. Start at a single step. The agent takes an action, gets a reward, and lands in a new state. From that we compute the temporal difference error, the reward plus the discounted value of the next state, minus the value we expected here. That little error is a one-step signal of surprise, and it's the raw material GAE is built from. Now walk forward along the whole trajectory. GAE takes all of those temporal difference errors, from this step onward, and adds them up in a weighted sum. But the weights decay, so each step further into the future counts a little less than the one before it, which means nearby surprises matter most and distant ones gradually fade away. What controls that decay? The lambda knob working together with the discount gamma. Each step's error is weighted by gamma times lambda raised to how far away it sits. Turn lambda down and the sum collapses toward just the first term, the low variance one-step estimate. Turn it up and many steps contribute, approaching the full noisy return. Lambda literally sets how far credit reaches. And out the other end comes the advantage estimate, a number saying how much better this action was than average, with bias and variance deliberately balanced. Because it's just a decaying sum of quantities you already computed, it's remarkably cheap, one backward pass and you're done. Strip it all away and three ideas define generalized advantage estimation. It estimates the advantage by blending many n-step estimates into one. Rather than trusting a single horizon, it takes an exponentially weighted average across all of them, so no one noisy or biased view is ever allowed to dominate the signal. A single lambda knob trades bias against variance. Near 0 it favors low variance and accepts some bias, near 1 it favors low bias and accepts more noise, and you tune it commonly to around 0.95 for the balance your problem needs. It's the quiet variance reducer behind modern policy gradients. That stability is a big reason methods like PPO and A2C train so reliably, and it has become a near-universal default in continuous control and in the reinforcement learning that fine-tunes large language models. Alright, let's lock in what matters. Generalized advantage estimation is a method for estimating the advantage while smoothly trading off bias against variance with a single knob. It blends every n-step estimate into an exponentially weighted average, controlled by a lambda parameter between 0 and 1. Mechanically, it's a cheap decaying sum of temporal difference errors along the trajectory, tuned by the discount gamma and the GAE lambda together. Its payoff is dramatically lower variance, which is a big part of why PPO and A2C train so smoothly. Hungry for more reinforcement learning ideas made this clear? That's the whole point of what we do over at Standarity.com. See you there.